what? It feels like my hype up song. Like as I'm about to walk to the plate, it's like play something so I can like get ready and get focused.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about the intro. Welcome everybody back to my 32 fan series. I'm so happy to have you back, by the way. And
Absolutely.
this is a series where I talk to one person from all 32 NFL teams, and I try to get a fan or somebody that like really loves the team because I feel like I get better insights that way. So that's amazing. So this is not your first time here, but I'll let you introduce yourself. But before you start, all of his information will be in the description so you can easily access it. You can easily find him. And yeah, tell us anything you want us to know about you, anything you want us to know about your fandom, and then we will just get started.
I mean, it's been a long time coming since I had to spin back on you because seriously, like it was so long ago last time I looked. It was almost 2 years ago since we've actually connected on the screen, and like a lot of Rams stuff has happened within that 2 years. Like there's been a lot going on over here, and especially with the recent draft. But I'm happy to be here. I mean, look, for the folks that don't know, you see the face, you know the case, fire content only. That's why you see the mic with the flame, right? And if you are listening to the audio podcast, you hear the voice, you know you made the right choice. But yeah, you can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. But let's get into it. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. So tell everybody about your fandom, your Rams fandom, how long you've been a fan of the Rams. How did it start? Because I know that it didn't start, obviously. A lot of people became fans of the Rams when they moved to LA. And that's fair, right? Because you get a new team. You didn't want to cheer for the Chargers. You decided to cheer for the Rams. That's amazing. That is not your story, though. So how long have you been a fan of the Rams? And what makes them your team at this point? Because you're following them. You're down. These are your guys.
It's been a very long time because, like, I've told this story before. My come up, like, football was not on my radar. Like, the real football was my passion, my love, still is, you know, when it comes to soccer. And, like, I ended up seeing one of my first games being the greatest show on turf and falling in love with the game, seeing Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk all go out there and do their thing, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. And then you honestly, that time frame of me becoming a fan, that's when they were going to the Super Bowl and winning it. The Mike Jones tackle against Eddie George, like against the Titans, and small world, you know, Jeff Fisher ends up our head coach around that time. So it was very hard to kind of keep the fandom alive after, you know, once the Mark Bolgers of the world, the Sam Bradfords and his up and down injuries, like staying loyal to a team where you're not from St. Louis or from Los Angeles whatsoever, being a guy and a kid from New Jersey, loving and everything about this team, I kind of stuck with them all these years because like I'm down to go through the roller coasters as the fandom of all teams know. And you know, I don't want to put you on blast with your team not knowing who your quarterback is week one, but
typical.
You get it.
You're two.
It's your turn. It's your turn, right? Like, and I think like the fandom to me, like it's become more of like I'm happy to be here in LA to see more Rams fans and see that there's more people out here wearing the gear. There's more people that's talking about it and going to the Rams block party just this past weekend and like seeing everybody boots on the ground. And I'm sure we'll get into it, you know, into this show, but I was doing a lot of damage control out there trying to keep the noise down and not letting us listen to the poison, you know, outside, you know, noise that's going on.
The rat poison, as Nick Saban says.
Dividing us in the group chats amongst our families and friends. So, I've been doing some damage control for the Rams for the last couple of years, to be honest.
So let's get in. Let's first ask what is one word you would use to describe the draft, and then we'll get into the elephant in the room.
One word to describe the draft in a whole, not just from a Rams perspective. I would say one word I would describe it as wow. Wow. And that's not even just for the Rams pick, but this is just the Jets taking Kenyon Sadiq. You have a tight end, Mason Taylor, you drafted already. You drafted Drew Aller and still don't know who your quarterback is. And I think that's kind of grimy by Mr. Voldemort. We shall not say his name because he will appear in the news. I feel like you look at a lot of these teams, like you look at the Eagles moving up and getting Kai Lemon, like just wow. The entire draft was just wow. Like even the second day and like the third day, there were some players that we didn't expect to fall as far as they did, or some players that were reached. Shout out to those 40 Winers thinking they're the smartest team in the league, you know. But I think like wow will be the perfect description between all, you know, 32 teams that went out there and drafted.
If you like the content that you're getting, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave us a comment in the comment section below, and I'll let you get back to your video. Yeah, that is true. And somebody I recorded with said drunk, And I was like, that's such a good word. I was like, what word you use? He's like drunk. And I'm like, you know what?
That I actually like that because that would be another one word description to kind of just wrap your head around what some of these teams were doing. And like, I
Yeah,
feel
I don't.
as fans, as analysts, as people that's in this industry, in the work field, it's like we do all these mock drafts and we talk to people and we think that they're connected to beat writers, et cetera, et cetera. We know nothing until that clock hits. You're on the clock, the pick is in, and then boom, it's somebody completely different that we all expected.
In my mind, a pick comes in and everybody is shuffling their papers, going through their mock drafts, and is like, wait, who? Like, wait,
I
where
want to
did y'all
say
find
something.
him?
I want to say it on your platform as well, because it's like I hate mock drafts. I've only done
I do too.
a couple, right? And like as the years have gone on, it's a waste of time. It's literally you thinking you know more than the GMs or the people that are actually in office. And I see some of these people die on hills on the internet, just arguing back and forth with people. You don't know anything. You know nothing. So stop with the mock drafts. Like it's one of the most annoying content pieces that I think that people go out there and try hard for, because again, it's like, you know nothing, bro. You're just guessing. This is just a piece of paper you put names and put elsewhere, and like you're trying to make yourself this draft analyst. But it's one of the most frustrating things because again, I'm so protective of my Rams. So like when I see mock drafts and there's silly stuff, there's like, what are y'all doing? Because some of these mock drafts are disrespectful to some of the people we have in house, right? We have all these mock drafts going out there for a linebacker. Like we have Omar Spates, we have Nate Landman, right? I know we need depth, but like I'm not trying to replace these two, right? And I think even when it comes to the secondary, everybody's like, oh, we need a corner. We need a corner. No, we don't. We have addressed that with the offseason. Jalen Watson, Trent McDuffie, Quentin Lake is locked in, signed, captain of the ship. Like it's a lot of mock drafts that just go into with no thinking of what's in house already, what we have. And that's why I kind of just look at them and laugh.
Yeah, I don't like mock drafts either. That's why I usually pick players, because I love college football. So for me, I'm like, I'm just going to pick players. I'm going to say where I think they should go. It is what it is. Like,
you tapped all the way into the college football, first of all. You be putting me on to some players where I'm like, what school he go to? Why are you watching that? What?
Everybody is usually like, how did you find him? I'm like, well, I look back at my notes, because that's what I do. Like during the season, when I'm watching games, I'll kind of like, before the season starts, I'll try to get some guys that I'm like, I'm fascinated with. And then just other guys that may not be anything. And then throughout the year, I'll just peep in. Yeah, I just pay attention. And so that's why when I do it, everyone's like, who are these people? And I'm like,
you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah. And all 9 of the guys I selected this year, 7 of them got drafted and 2 of them are undrafted free agents. So like I did something right. Like
it's still an opportunity for those 2 that didn't get drafted, because we see and they went to great spots. Tons of undrafted, people really develop into starters, right? Omar Spates, another player that undrafted. And I think that, the undrafted crowd, like I think they're one of the ones that are more hungrier than some of the guys drafted in those late rounds, so shout out to them.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now, I want to preface this by saying on draft night, the last pick I thought the Rams would ever do would be quarterback. I just was like, there's no way they're going to do that. So I didn't even think about that. And then after the draft happened, I still was like, I respect the Rams and I trust them. So I'm just going to let them do what they're going to do. My new thing is, and then I'll let you give me your thoughts. My new thing is, right now, this might be like a WTF, but in a year or two, it might end up being the best pick ever. It just might take some time for it to show itself. That's how I'm feeling now after, doing some critical thinking and being reflective and all those different things. I would love to know what your thoughts are. What were your thoughts when the pick happened? Your initial thought, and then how are you feeling now that it's been a little bit of time?
So I'm going to take you through the whole process up to the first 10 picks, because we were at 13. And then, you see the Cowboys wheeling and dealing. You've seen some other teams making some calls. But once the first 10 picks off the board went off, and I'm like, I'm sitting down at this point. I'm like, I thought we was going to be a little aggressive and move up. I thought we were going to be shaking and baking, wheeling and dealing, moving up. We didn't. So I'm like, all right, cool. The 13th pick comes in, and then I see that little icon. The pick is in. I'm like, hold up. I thought we were trading back. Like, I thought we were going to, I hope this ain't the pick that I think it is, but everybody had Mekhi Lemon mocked there. Everybody, in the media were like, yeah, Mekhi Lemon's the perfect fit, blah, blah, blah. And me, me, I like to have my own brain and not live in the echo chamber. I didn't want Mekhi Lemon. And again, I'm here in LA. USC is right up the road. Like, I'm cool. Like, I don't want no smoke, but I saw better wide receiver prospects. I wanted Jordan Tyson. And obviously him going to New Orleans, that wasn't possible. So seeing that the pick is in, I'm like, hold up. I thought we was going to move back. We want a wide receiver. Need that wide receiver 3.
Who are we picking here? Yeah.
I see the pick, and I'm like, Ty Simpson. Wow. As loud and as wrong as I was in the internet, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, I was like, if we're at 13, I hope it's not Ty Simpson, because I think we can move back. We could trade back and wait and get him. And that's not what happened whatsoever. It was just kind of like you had to sit with it. Like, this is real. This has happened. You see the reaction, you see the internet reaction, and then, the press conference happens, the body language, right? And that was just basically all of night 1 leading into night 2 into the weekend of just the Rams did this. Did they make the right pick? And again, honestly, my first emotions were just like, damn, I wanted a wide receiver 3. I wanted another pass catcher. Like, I needed, to really sit back and calculate what just happened. But as the weekend came along, I understood. And I understand now, truthfully.
What is it that you feel that makes you confident with it? Like, where you're kind of like, you know what? Okay, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at who's making the decisions, first of all, Sean McVay and Les Snead. Since when, and I'm speaking to the Rams fans, or anybody else out there with the outside noise, since when did we start questioning Sean McVay and Les Snead in their decision-making? Like, do we not know this goes back to 2012 with Les Snead? Even with Jeff Fisher, a bad offense, he still was picking dimes. Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, his first selection in 2012. We had the pieces. We always drafted well. It's just that our offense was not great.
Yeah.
So going back to the history of Les Snead making these decisions and knowing that Sean McVay and him are lockstep, they are tight. This is a brotherhood here. They've made every decision up to this draft together. So obviously when you see the press conference and McVay looks grumpy, blah, 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 he knows Matthew Stafford's watching. There's no way you're about to be out there like, yeah, we got Ty Simpson. Yeah. Thank God. Like, no, that's not us, right? And I'd like to say this clearly. Like, we are built different and we are ran different. We don't do top 30 visits. We don't go to the combine. We don't do all the theatrics and circusness that all the rest of the 31 teams do and still fail on draft day, right? So that, to me, like, when I seen the backlash, I'm like, y'all are wilding. Y'all don't pay too close attention to what's going on here, right? Like, y'all sitting here saying that he's upset about the pick and Les Snead did, like, no, this is building for the future. There's an obvious need at the quarterback position. We do not have a backup right now that I feel confident stepping in for Matthew Stafford. Stetson Bennett is on a contract year. He's out of here next year, right? So having Ty Simpson in the house, in building with Les Snead, Sean McVay, Cliff Kingsbury, which is going under the radar. He is part of the offensive staff. Yeah. This boy is walking into one of the best situations we have ever seen a quarterback walk into. A first ballot Hall of Famer quarterback to learn from. Then you have Sean McVay on the sticks, and then the supporting coaching staff that's around him. My God, I can go on and on. Like, he's going to be a problem if he develops into the quarterback that we think he could be.
It's true. And that's the end game. And it's a reminder that a lot of people aren't worried about the end game. They're focused on the right now. And so, and so that, and that's what that pick was.
Though. Yeah. And they kind of got it messed up though.
I always say that pick was an investment, and that pick was a savings account. It was like, I just got paid. Do I go do whatever? Or do I put money in my savings account? They decided to put money in their savings account.
Yeah. They should only have 10% in the checkings account. And that's what the rest of the, draft picks were, right? Like, I look at this, right? Because, again, damage control. When you look at the pick, it makes sense because it's like, Stafford doesn't need to walk into retirement next year or the year after that. He's coming off of an MVP campaign. Like
Mm-hmm.
he could do it again this year. We can go to the Super Bowl. And I remind
Mm-hmm.
people, like, even before that Ty Simpson pick, we were Super Bowl favorites. We were a Super Bowl winning team. We have an MVP caliber quarterback
That's
before even making that pick. So
yeah, true.
before, during, and after, we are still that team. Just
Yeah.
because we didn't get, what the fans wanted. We wanted Jordan Tyson. We wanted Mekhi Lemon. Hey, we wanted Carnell Tate, but that wasn't the situation. But hey, here we are.
Yeah. Okay. So what day 2, day 3 draft pick do you think is going to end up being a steal for your team?
Max Clare, that tight end there. And I think that goes under the radar because we have 5 tight ends right now, maybe more, right? But on cutting day, there's going to be some names that's going to have to get crossed off. But I think Max, I mean, honestly, when you look at what McVay's trying to build for the future, let's stay here. We're in the future. The future is bright. That's my new 2026 slogan when it comes to the Rams. The future is bright. Okay. Max and Terrence Ferguson together, you honestly see the dynamic they're trying to build. You obviously have Tyler Higbee there. He's going to be the captain, the head honcho, the old head of the tight end room. He's going to be putting game on these guys, right? On the younger guys. You have Davis Allen and Colby Parkinson, right? Very productive, great at blocking in the tight end position, especially when you want to go to that 13 personnel that have the run game thrive in that as well. So Max, he's a yak king. He's a yak guy. He's somebody that could be 5 yards from scrimmage and he gets upfield 40, 50 yards. He might take it to the house. Then you look at Terrence Ferguson, what he has the ability to do. He was the fastest tight end in the combine last year. You see what he can do deep downfield. So McVay's trying to kill you vertically with a splash play type of tight end that clearly is a mismatch headache for any slot, mid-tier corner, or any type of linebacker trying to clog up the middle. Yeah, right. Good luck. Max, again, you have Puka Nacua, who is a yak king, right? You have Jordan Whittington, who's there also, your guy, is a yak king as well. Like McVay's trying to build this team to be tough guys, aggressive guys with the hands, and yards after the catch. That is the formula of everything of his offense. And I think Max is going to be a great, great weapon for Ty Simpson in the future. Maybe 2029. I don't know. I'm going to put it that far out.
We'll give him 2029. I'm saying 2028. So, it is what it is. So
as far as McVay, as far as Stafford wants to play, I don't care if Stafford wants to play until he's 46. If we're still getting MVP caliber type of talent, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, I agreed. Why rush him out? Like how? Yeah. Why? What's the point? Keep him. And that, yeah. So if there's one player in the draft class that you think is going to make the biggest immediate impact, who would that be?
Immediate impact. I would hope. Let's just say I would hope it's CJ Daniels. Okay. Because again, we wanted a wide receiver in the first round, but we ended up waiting. We ended up getting a guy later, but I can't sit here and act like we didn't get Puka Nacua in the 5th round, or we got Cooper Kupp in the 3rd. Like, we've found these mid-round wide receivers and developed them to be great players. So hopefully CJ Daniels comes in, he makes an impact, and I think he can make some noise in that pecking order in terms of what we have on wide receivers. I love Konate Mudfield. I think that he's still developing. I'm glad we brought Xavier Smith back, even though some folks just won't let it go. He dropped the punt. It's over. It's a new season. They brought him back. And again, that wide receiver room has their roles. And like Jordan Whittington, like I mentioned before, there's guys in that room that you could see could be plug and play. Like Konate Mudfield, his route running, his ability, pair him with Devontae Adams. Then you have Jordan Whittington. He could run all the routes on the offense, but I think he's best suited to fill in for Puka Nacua, right? So I'm looking at this wide receiver room where CJ Daniels, where does he really fit? Can he play out wide? Yes. Can he play in the slot? Yes. Can he make the one-handed, oh my God, how did he catch that? Is he very good at tracking the ball when it's coming over his head and make these plays? That's everything that Stafford needs, because we see Adams do it on a week-to-week basis. We see Puka Nacua do it on a week-to-week basis. We need that wide receiver 3 that's going to come in and be a straight plug and play and be versatile. I think CJ Daniels could be that.
I like it. And when he went there, I was like, first of all, how did he get that far? And then second of all, of course, like those are like my 2 things, because the typical Rams draft, I felt like that was with getting him there. So is there a player on your team that you, or is there a player that you all passed up on multiple times, or that you just passed up on that you were thinking, man, I thought we were going to get him, or he would have been perfect here, that you think might come back to haunt you?
No. There
Okay.
isn't really. I mean, other than the whole wide receiver debacle, in the first round. I mean, Kenyon Sadiq was even mocked there. And honestly, if that would have been the pick, I would have been like, okay, I get it. You want
Yeah.
dogs. Like Kenyon Sadiq is a freak of nature, right? And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that will come back to burn us, being that we got Max. I
Okay.
just think back to back, both Oregon guys, Terrence Ferguson, Kenyon Sadiq, you kind of want to have their own parallels because, again, I don't think Ferguson is as great as a blocker as a Kenyon Sadiq. I don't think that he is as, I would say, route savvy as a Kenyon Sadiq. Like, I think they each have their roles where Max, I think he complements Terrence Ferguson role instead of just taking it over and being able to be a deep threat or a guy after the catch, right? So I
Ooh.
think that pick made more sense of like, we don't want to completely completely bury Terrence Ferguson on the depth chart. Because if you did that in drafting Kenyon Sadiq, that's exactly what that would have did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's talk about the team a little bit. Obviously, you are very much in the Super Bowl window. You very much expect to contend for Super Bowls. That is where you're at. That is who you are. However, is there any other measure of success for you all this year? Or how would you measure success if you don't make it to the Super Bowl? Would you look back on and be like, you know what, we've done a couple of things that are great? Like, what would success be like for you? I know it's Super Bowl. Like, so let's just get that out, right? But there's other things that you're kind of looking at your team and you're like, man, I really wish like our third down conversion rate needs to get better or whatever that is. Like, is there anything else as a Rams fan that you're looking at where you're like, if we could do this, this is actually going to help us get to the Super Bowl?
First things first, special teams. I know that needs to be addressed. A lot of the games that we lost last year is because of special teams,
Yeah.
and not just Xavier Smith. There's guys on special teams, the long snapper that we had to replace, right? We had to go get a guy that we had all the way back in the St. Louis days, right? We had to address our kicker. Now we got Thicker the kicker, who's been very accurate, right? Now you look at them getting the Cleveland Browns special team coach and bringing him over, and we hope that the special teams gets adjusted and fixed and we don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it ever. Because I remember when John Fossil was our special teams coach, we can honestly just close, we can go to the bathroom and know that nothing's going to go wrong. Know that we're
Right.
actually probably going to score or we're going to do a fake punt with Johnny Hecker. Like those were the days of where the special teams and our defense were the best things popping in St. Louis. So
Okay.
that is where I want to get back to. And also the secondary. We've made the adjustments. We made the acquisitions and getting Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, right? Locking up a Quentin Lake, right? Locking up that secondary with Cam Curl. And I think, honestly, Cam Kinchins. And I think, honestly, that's where my main attention is going to is this secondary. Are
Okay.
they going to be able to give time to our boys in the trenches? Because that's been the
Mm-hmm.
issue. We're waiting for those sacks to come for Jared Verse. Braden Fisk, we need you to stay healthy, but we also need you to get back on the board. His rookie season was amazing what he was able to do, including the playoffs. And I think he believed he had 9 to 10 sacks, but we need to keep that going, right? We need Kobe Turner. We need these guys to be able to eat in the middle as well. I mean, Puna Ford, my God, he is a monster.
Shout
We
out
need
to
to
Puna
extend him.
Ford.
We need to extend him now. Okay. But
Yeah.
Byron Young,
Another,
like
you know, he's from Texas, right?
oh, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah, those are your folks. Those are your folks. Listen,
Yeah.
I do think that Byron Young having a career year could have been even better if our secondary gave the defense time to actually get to the quarterback. Because honestly,
Okay.
I love the land shark, Kobe Durant. He's now in Dallas, right? Darius Williams, he's now in retirement. Thank you for our services. But as you can see, we didn't really have the corners that can really lock it down for our pass rush to even get the time. And when you go
Mm.
back to the St. Louis days, I like to go back to when our defense was like a top 10 defense, but our offense was poo-poo, right? And that's
Right.
because you had a Janoris Jenkins, a Tremaine Johnson on the perimeters locking everything down. You had LaMarcus Jr. and Rodney McLeod in the back of the secondary knocking heads off, right? So them locking it down let Michael Brockers, Chris Long, Robert Quinn, Aaron Donald, Ethan Westbrook, Eugene Sims. My God, I can go down the depth chart. That's like 5, 6, 7 people on the line right there. So it's like when
Yeah.
you have your backups eating and getting sacks, that's just letting you know the guys on that perimeter are holding it down for you to get the time. So those will be the measurements of success, that we
Okay.
address special teams, that we address that secondary. Because listen, when we look at all the losses we had last year, those were the 3 main things that were the problem: pass rush,
Mm-hmm.
special teams, in the secondary. End
Yeah.
of discussion. We fix that. We're good.
Yeah. And the other question is what worries you the most, but I think you talked about it. Those three things are the things that worry you the most. Like,
Yes.
would you so because you answered that, I'd have another question that is totally random. How did you feel watching the Seahawks win the Super Bowl? Is it weird for you when a team in your division wins the Super Bowl, or were you just rolling your eyes, or were you like, of course, or were you like, all right, they were pretty good, fine, whatever?
They can't mess with us. And
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it PG. They can't mess with us.
Okay.
Stafford did his job in those games that we lost against the Sea Chickens, secondary, special teams. Like I'm not giving them no props. I have no
Okay.
respect. Like I went into the season giving them love. Like, yo, y'all doing your thing. Shout out Cooper Cup. Nah, I don't like their fans now. They
You're
be in
over it
my
now.
DMs, my mentions, disrespectful, as if we wasn't
Okay.
cool. Now they win the Super Bowl. They popping off the mouth like they some whiners, or popping off the mouth like they the Eagles or something. Like, okay, we're gonna check that. We're gonna check
Okay.
that. I can't wait until we play again. Because I'm gonna be
Okay.
barking. I'm gonna be outside.
Okay. Is there is there something this team has improved the most from last season that you feel?
Um, from last season to this season, what we have improved the most?
Yeah.
I would say, I like what our running backs did last year. Like, I love the combination between Kyron and Blake Corum. I think we'll get a better version of that this year. Even though,
Okay.
like, I think there's like news now that it's going to be a 50-50 split. That's not news. That they've already been doing that. They've been getting more involved with Blake Corum out of that backfield. And I think Kyron, his role will be cemented as the RB1. But when you look at what Blake Corum was able to do last year, top of the leaderboards when it comes to yards before contact, which means that he is hitting those holes and getting upfield quickly, right? He's able to bounce outside. We see the speed. We see his ability in college of getting in the red zone when they're in striking distance and falling to the end zone more times than not. So I think
Yep.
we're going to keep seeing this running back backfield, kind of this duality, be the new best running back duo in the league. Like before we had Gibbs, Monty, that's no longer, right?
Yeah.
Before, Bijan and Tyler Algier, that's no more, right? I think Kyron and Blake Corum, they're going to be stepping into the light as like, yo, you're going to have to deal with us. You're going to deal with Puka Nacua and the running backs. You're going to have to deal with Terrence Ferguson, Max Clare, maybe, and you're going to have to deal with Devontae Adams. So there's going to be I would think it would be all eyes on this backfield if they can continue being the duo that they are.
Okay. What do you think your team is going to do better than most teams in the NFL?
Score points. Score points. As
Yeah.
simple as that. I think we're going to be one of the top 3 teams in terms of scoring points because just look at what Matthew Stafford did last year. Even with the ups and downs of the areas that I said that was special teams and the defense, he still was going down there doing MVP things, Hall of Fame
Yeah.
things. And I think
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford is the head of that. And I think we're going to be scoring even more points this season, right? Everybody's all excited about 13 personnel. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we pull out 14 personnel this year with as many tight ends we have.
Just
So
load them
just
up.
wait
Yeah.
on it. Just load them
Yeah.
up. Just wait on it.
Okay, let's get to the fun round. I know some of your answers here, but we're still going to do it because I like to hear your you I don't want to say brag, but it's not bragging if
No,
it's true. Like I
yeah, not
appreciate it.
bragging.
Yeah.
I ain't
So okay,
cocky. It's
quarterback.
confidence.
Yeah, they're the confidence. There it is. Quarterback confidence on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being please leave ASAP, 5 being please stay with us as long as you humanly want to stay with us. What is your quarterback confidence right now?
6.
Okay. Love it. Awesome.
6.
Okay. Okay. Coaching staff trust level. Same thing on a scale from 1 to 5.
I would say 4. And reason why it's not 5, because I know McVay, I know Les Snead signed extensions early in February, but I don't know how long those extensions are. So I hope that it's extended when the overlap comes with Ty Simpson and we get a couple years with McVay and Snead. And I'll say 4 because I don't know how long these extensions are. It could easily be a 2-year extension, right?
Right.
So I don't know what the windows or what this looks like, in the future with Ty Simpson and the Rams. So we'll see.
Okay, that's valid. Who do you think will carry the team this year? Offense or defense?
Ooh, You know what? I hope it's the defense. And I hope the leading factor of the defense that is leading these guys is Quentin Lake, the captain, right? Because I think he last year, I would say getting injured, you noticed the difference, right? You noticed that his presence wasn't there. And then when you look at some of the metrics in terms of missed tackles, like once he got off the field, the missed tackles were out the wazoo. Like guys were missing left and right. We're like, yo, whoa, what's going on?
Happened?
Oh, Lake's not there. But now, if you let Lake do Lake things and be as great as he is, now you add a Trent McDuffie and a Jalen Watson. Lake is about to go crazy. So I think I want to lean on the defense leading us, being the front runners or carrying us, or why we're going to the Super Bowl. But you already know it's probably going to be the offense.
Matthew Stafford and company.
Yes.
So, okay. If you could trade drafts with any other team in the NFL, you get all of their picks, they get all of your picks. Who would you trade with? Would you trade? And what team would that be?
That is such a great question. I probably wouldn't trade entirely of picks, just the first couple picks.
Okay.
It'll probably be the Jets.
Who were you wanting? Okay, the Jets. Okay. Oh, because tight end, receiver.
Yeah.
Mark Cooper.
They got David Bailey. They got Amari Cooper.
David Bailey.
Kenyon Sadiq. And there's
got
one
an
more
offensive
corner.
lineman.
There's one. They got a corner too. I believe it
was...
Ponds. There you go.
Ponds.
Those couple of picks. Did a little switcheroo, and now we cooking with fish grease. But I like the Jets' first couple of picks. And again, as much as I make fun of them with the Kenyon Sadiq pick because it just didn't make sense, I think that's going to be a really good addition to their offense. I think that Breece Hall is going to have one of a career years because obviously the focus is opening up lanes for him, get him involved. He's on the franchise here. So I think that's going to be the identity of this offense with Geno is to run the ball. Even though they got weapons now. They got weapons. I think A.D. Mitchell's underrated. Obviously, Garrett Wilson coming back from injury, and it's Omar Cooper, which I think that's going to be one of the most impactful, fantasy rookie wide receivers that I think that probably go under the radar.
Yeah, I wanted him too. So yeah. Anyways, let me just move on.
You guys also wanted Mekhi Lemon.
I didn't. Yeah, I was so like everybody was like, oh man. I was like, why did we go after him? Anyways, I don't understand. Sometimes I'm like, what are you guys hearing? Like, just tell me what you're hearing so that I understand.
Yeah.
Because even if I don't fully agree, at least I can understand it. Half the time I'm just like, that's y'all waited all this time for that. Like, okay.
Again,
right.
Mock drafts are a myth.
Yeah, have fun. Like, and then whatever. I don't understand. So what is your this always happens to us moment? So is there a time where like you're watching a game or something happens or a play happens or whatever happens and you're like, here we go. Like, this is what we do. Like, we are the Rams and this is what we do.
Well, if folks listen to me on the Rams Recap, the Sick Podcast Network, my worst play that is in Sean McVay's playbook that I hope he deletes is the tight end screen. Delete the tight end screen. I hate it. I don't care if it works. Even when it works, I'm just like angry that it's still being utilized. I hate the tight end screen. Delete it. Please delete it because it will be like 3rd and 6 and we're doing a tight end screen. And I'm like, of course, McVay cannot let that go. And listen, this ain't no disrespect or shot at him. I just hate it because when it doesn't work, you look crazy. Like that was what you drew. Like, stop. Tight end screen needs to go away forever. And it gets me in my bag sometimes because I'll be like, I guarantee I can call it right here. I guarantee this is what we're doing. And that's exactly what happens. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, since 2017, you've been trying to get this working and going. It's not working. Stop.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's funny too because like, I was like that with the tosses for the Steelers. And what I always say is like, as a coach, like, do you think that everybody doesn't know that this is coming? I know it's coming. And I haven't watched any film this week. Stop with the play. Like, just stop it.
I hate tight end screens. I don't care if it was Gerald Everett. I don't care if it was Higbee. I don't care if it was Jared Cook. Back in the day, delete the tight end screen from the Rams playbook, bro. Like, it doesn't need to be there. We have way better plays, way better players that you can deploy this with, right? Like, come on, stop.
That's awesome. Okay, so my final question is, if you could send a message to anyone in the organization, so owner, GM, coach, whoever you choose, what message would you send?
Let me choose my words wisely. Maybe I should just use what I just said. Delete the tight end screen, McVay, right? Nate Shieldhouse. I know you in there now as the OC. Come on, man. Like, let's delete it, okay? I love the 13 personnel. I love 12. Let's get freaky deaky. Let's do 14 personnel. Let's see what happens with that. But the tight end screen, delete, man. And again, I want to choose my words wisely. But McVay, in less need we trust. Okay, that's my message to them. Don't ever listen to the outside noise and the media saying whatever they're saying negatively about this organization and how it's ran. Built different, ran different. The Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, love it. Okay, good on you for doing that. I love it. Yeah, every moment.
You got a lot of listeners. You got a lot of listeners. I don't know where this may go. I want no smoke. I want no problems. Hey, look, I appreciate y'all sending me this, right? I wasn't able to make it to the game. I am highly appreciative of this. Like, listen, I love
y'all are the best, best organization around. Keep doing everything you're doing. Yeah,
no smoke.
No, I you know what? I respect that. And to be fair, if you would have said anything, I would have been like, "You want me to edit that out? I'll cut it out for you. Don't worry." So, and there have been some things for people that I have been like, "I'll cut it."
I don't do it. Yeah, no edits.
Sometimes, like there's been a couple of things where I'm like, I don't think we should have said that here. But if you want me to leave it, I'll leave it. So,
to your listeners, future listeners, and future people coming on as guests, you never know who is listening. I have been a victim of that. I've met people and they've seen my tweets, and I'm like, "Oh, my bad." But we good, right?
Yeah. I did feel that way, but we're okay, right? It's not personal. It's not personal.
There's a couple players that I wouldn't say checked me, but they did check the temperature. Like, yo, yeah,
like, are you really? Yeah, you still feel that way? Yeah.
Like, nah, dog.
Well, I've never said this publicly, but that is one of the reasons why I don't get in people's personal business. Is because I don't want to, I don't tweet it. I don't cover it. I don't make videos about it. I don't even talk about it. I don't care. Y'all go do what y'all be with who y'all want to be with. I don't really care, because it's like, sometimes you do see some of these people, and I don't want to be the one that was like, I told you to leave her, like, on a tweet. And now I'm like, oh, hey, no, like, strictly
there's
football.
One player that I was strictly talking fantasy, and the player that I've actually interacted with, and we cool now. Like, we DM, we talk sometimes. But he was like, "Yeah, what's all that fantasy stuff he was talking about?" He was like, "This is why players don't like fantasy, because y'all getting y'all bag." I'm like, "Listen, it's my job. I get paid to do this. Like, I gotta be real, and that's real deal fantasy. You see the name? Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? Am I lying? No. I just might have said it a little, a little
aggressive. Like, that's me. That's me all the time. Listen, I say everything.
Trash. What are we doing? Lock in.
Yeah, that's why I always say, so if I say something, everybody will know it's not personal, because I don't care about anything personal. What I'm talking about, once we get in those on the green turf, grass, whatever we're playing in between those lines, I want you to catch the ball. Period. Full stop. Like, I don't care about anything else. I want you to catch the ball. I want you to tackle. Yeah, tackle. Yes. Like, make a play. Do the basic things. So whenever you see me, it's just like, it is what it is, right? I wanted you to play well. You wanted to play well. Like, we're good. So,
that's it. I was passionate in the moment, rooting for you.
Exactly.
I'm never rooting against you.
Never. I always want you to be successful. So, anyways, well, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. And every time we do this, it's a lot of fun. And what's even better is I appreciate that your love for Matthew Stafford, because I feel like so many times, even when our favorite players don't play well or whatever happens, we're always like, well, maybe. I appreciate that you're always writing for him regardless. And I love that, because I feel like we should do that more. And same with your GM, same with your coaching staff. Like, that type of fan is fun, because it's like, these are my guys. Like, I know that probably wasn't great, but these are my guys, so I just appreciate that from you. And I know that you're always going to be that way. And I just wish we had more fans like that, because it gives you a label, gives you a little bit of stability in your fandom. You're not
It does.
crazy. Yeah. You're not like, oh my God, we suck. Oh, we're the best. It's like, it's very much like, we have the best quarterback. We'll be fine. And I love that.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that and being that.
It took a while to get to this point, though. Because, like, again, I go back to those St. Louis days. I'm outside barking with my friends, red in the face, ready to fight them because they talking about, yeah, Sam Bradford's trash. Nah, bro, look at our defense, yo. Look at TJ McDonald make these plays, bro. Look at Chris Long with a sack. Like, I'm sitting here just fighting with them, just picking out little. Bro, they cut me one time. Like, they was getting on me because I was like, yo, Johnny Hecker's the best punter in the league. It's not a lie, but that's the only little bit of light we had.
That's all you had. Yeah.
That's all we had.
Whatever you have.
Dark times.
I love it. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for joining, and thank you for giving a special team shout out. Anytime anyone talks about their special teams, their offensive line, special shout out for me, because I feel like we just don't talk about those guys often. So thank you. I'll end with you. Anything you want to say? Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, all of your information will be in the description below. Yes. I need to make sure I have the most up-to-date information so that I can put it there. And then, yeah, anything you want to say, we'll end with you.
Listen, I mean, I want more folks to be listening to me on Sirius XM Radio, Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, right? I'm on there Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then Saturdays, I'm on there 12 noon Pacific time for 2 whole hours, just holding it down, talking fantasy, talking ball, having a great time with my co-host, Dane Martinez, as well. We go back and forth. It's like 2 old guys in the bar arguing about football that I'm right.
I love that.
No, you're right. No, I'm right. But, it's all good. But I definitely love the vibes over there at FTN Fantasy as well. They give me the opportunity to go on Sirius XM Radio to be able to speak and talk all this fire content, that I've been trying to get out to the fantasy streets. But please make sure you guys follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. And also on Blue Sky. I don't know if you're on Blue Sky. You got to jump on Blue Sky. You got to jump on. It's the vibes. The vibes are vibing, okay?
What? How come everybody I talk to is like, hey, you should do this too? I'm like, I am busy. I have too much. Like, I can't do everything. Like, everyone's like, you should go there. You should be there. You should do this. I'm like,
it's a cool, supportive platform, right? Like, I go over there to really just, if I'm watching one of these TV shows, like I was watching Severance in live time, I'm just sitting here posting and people are jumping in, talking about the show. And like, if you're looking for cool vibes and chilled atmospheres, Blue Sky is where it's at.
Yeah, where Twitter used to be.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love to see it. Anyways, thank you for being here. And it is Twitter, everyone. So don't comment in my comment section and correct me. It is Twitter. I will call it Twitter. It was named Twitter. Its mom named it Twitter. Its birth was Twitter. It was invented to be Twitter. It will be Twitter until I will never change it until it goes away. And even when it goes away, I will still call it Twitter. And yes, I'm on a rant. I don't care. It is Twitter.
I love this for you.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Bye.